If all living beings were placed randomly across the Earth, with no relation to where they came from, we might find kangaroos in Africa, bears in New Zealand, or elephants on remote Pacific islands. But nature doesn't work that way. What we actually see is something far more revealing. Every region of the world has its own unique families of plants and animals, groups that are often found nowhere else, yet share strong similarities with nearby species. Take South America. Its tropical forests are full of mammals like sloths, armadillos, and anteaters, creatures you won't find in similar forests in Africa or Asia. Instead, African jungles host gorillas and leopards, organisms perfectly suited to that environment. But with completely different evolutionary stories. The habitats may look alike, but the life they hold has been shaped by separate histories. Australia gives us an even clearer example. Most of its native mammals are marsupials, animals that raise their young in pouches, like kangaroos, wombats, and koalas. In contrast, the rest of the world is dominated by placental mammals. Why this split? Because Australia has been isolated for millions of years, and evolution had to work with what was already there. It didn't start from scratch, it modified, adapted, and diversified the lineages that had arrived long ago. But nowhere is this evolutionary pattern more dramatic than on remote islands. Places like the Galápagos or Hawaii are too far for most land animals to reach. You won't find native frogs, crocodiles, or large mammals there, not because the islands can't support them, but because they never managed to get there. Birds, insects, and seeds floating on the wind or carried by water had better chances. And those that arrived, once isolated, evolved in new directions. That's why Galapagos finches are all different from one another, yet clearly belong to the same family. They didn't start as different species. They became different species. Darwin noticed this. He saw that every island in the Galapagos had its own variety of mockingbird or finch, and yet all of them resembled birds from mainland South America. This wasn't coincidence. It was descent with modification. A few early migrants reached the islands and, over time, gave rise to an entire collection of new forms, each adapted to the needs of a particular island, a specific food source, a distinct way of life. Even the fossil record and continental drift agree with this story. As landmasses split and drifted apart, species on those continents took separate evolutionary journeys. That's why similar fossils are found on now distant continents that were once connected, and why you don't find tigers in South America or armadillos in Asia. Unless humans brought them. All of this paints a picture not drawn in bones or genes, but in location. Where a species is found, and where its relatives live, is not random. It tells a story of history, migration, and transformation. The global pattern of life is one of evolution written across the map of Earth.